Welcome back to Miami International Autodrome underneath the shadow of the Hard Rock Stadium. We are here for our final race of the weekend. Double headers, of course, for both Coppa Shell and Trofeo Pirelli. This is the last race of the weekend. This is Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli Am. It all kicked off yesterday between the championship protagonists at the very front of the field when Massimo Perina made a pass on Dylan Medler in turn one that resulted in just a tiny little bit of contact. Medler retired, Perina finished, Kaminsky was right up there. It's super close at the top now. Sonoma Raceway is where we started back in March. On to Daytona just a month or so ago, only a couple of hours up the road. Miami Autodrome, then Indianapolis, Watkins Glen, Laguna Seca and Mugello for the finale Mondiale in October. I wonder if we'll see any rain at all before then. And they could be in for quite the shock if they head across the other side of Europe. October is obviously the fall in Europe, but just as it is here in North America. And it could be wet, it could be cool, but it will be fun whatever happens. Championships to be decided by then. 6 rounds here, of course, in America. This is the third one. You're looking at the track map. Lots of linked corners. Turn 10, particularly tricky braking into that chicane. We're still seeing incidents up in turn 15. 17 is still the favourite for a pass, but we've seen a few. And in this encounter, we saw one yesterday at turn 1. Beautiful day in Miami. No chance of rain before we finish today. 42C track temperature, 31C air temperature. Wind has picked up by 1 kilometre an hour. That won't matter. My name's Andrew Coley. Alongside me is Tony Villander. Tony, we had a brilliant encounter with Coppa Shell. I'm really hoping the Trofeo Pirelli guys put on a similar show.
Yeah, there's one more race to go. A little bit of aggression from yesterday. Perina and Dylan Medler had a contact. Still today, people, mechanics, engineers talking about that incident. Whose fault, who moved, who braked later, who caused the contact. So we said yesterday that the aggression level probably will change for this championship from that moment on. We have a lot of talent in Pirelli, great fight between these young, talented, fast drivers. So qualifying very important, not an easy track to overtake. All the small details that count today in race 2 in Pirelli. Ray Acosta, unfortunate yesterday, had the lead of the race, had a puncture. I talked with him earlier. He's happy to be back in a strong shape. Did some changes to his race car after Daytona and things are working really well at the moment. So looking forward to this race, and there's a lot of excitement. There was a lot of drivers in the shadow still just waiting to get going. It's very hot out there, so also a lot of time to wait. So it's difficult for an athlete perform early in the morning and then wait several hours for the main event, and this is the schedule this weekend, and let's see who is in best shape this afternoon.
Yeah, on the front row, of course, with Ray Acosta, Brad Falvey. He's another driver who was having a brilliant day yesterday and then had an issue and dropped back. So all to play for in both Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli. And the reason the racing is later than usual is because we have a fantastic Ferrari Racing Days weekend here this weekend. So the Formula 1 cars have been out on track. We've had the 499P Modificata out as well for Sport Prototipi Clienti. It really has been a fantastic show. Nina Jade Paul is with us as well. She's down in pit lane.
Absolutely, I'm here in the thick of the action. The Pirelli race is about to get underway. Massimo Perina called his pole position gratifying this morning, and I bet a race win would amplify those feelings. He has got the freaky fast Johnny Kaminsky starting behind him in second place, and third place Robert Perina making it family fair for first and third positions. Now, Dylan Medler is starting in fourth place, and believe me, he will be on the charge. In Pirelli Am, like you guys said, we've got Ray Acosta in pole. Had a bit of unfortunate yesterday, hoping to for redemption today. We've got Brad Falvey and Sebastian Mascaro behind him respectively. All in all, I think it's going to be a really exciting race. It's highly anticipated. I cannot wait to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, same here, Nina J. Thank you very much. Managed to find some shade this afternoon. No shade out on track. Temperatures are high. Tempers were maybe high yesterday, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens today. The cars are heading out onto pit road. They make a quick U-turn around the end of the Tech Pro barriers there and then park themselves up on the grid before they'll go for a reconnaissance lap. Then, of course, their out lap behind the safety car and will be released into our final racing action of the weekend. Now this is a similar track to what is used in Formula One. It's not completely the same because there's a public road which they don't like to close quite so often, fair enough. So we're using a modified version of it. We're the first series to use this modified version for a race weekend, and it's been brilliant so far. We asked our champion from last year, Dylan Medler, to take us for a lap, so have a look at this.
Hi guys, I'm Dylan Medler, driver number 15 of the Collections Ferrari 296 Challenge car. This is my home track and I'm going to take you for a lap around Miami International Autodrome.
So here we are crossing the start-finish line. You're going to have your eyes up looking for turn 1, hard braking your bridge, down a few gears, you want to hit the apex. After that, your eyes look forward to the apex of 2, and then 3, you want to be as flat as possible here, carry as much speed. So now it's a long sweeping corner, so eyes up. Now you see the next corner, a light brush of the brakes, then attack the corner. And then these corners right here have a little mojo here, so if you mess one up, the next ones don't end up so good. But if you hit it perfectly, it's very sweet, you gain a lot of time. This corner is very demanding on the car as it likes to roll over since there's a lot of low rim tires. But after that, you want to get a great exit, and here we are on the back straight. So here on the back straight, although it is a little curvy, you don't really have time to rest, but you're carrying a lot of speed in 6th gear. You want to do a light brush of the brakes here, carry speed through the wall, attack this apex, and then attack this next one and get a great exit as there's a little straight here. Now coming up to one of the toughest corners for me, you want to carry speed and not upset the car, hit the apex, and back to full throttle. And pretty much if you hit that apex correctly, you get a lot of speed down this main street, gain a lot of tenths. And then now to the last corner, you want to brake as deep as possible, but not upsetting the car. And look right towards the apex, hit the apex, and then back to power. And all the way up the gears to 6th gear. Try and not turn the steering wheel as much. And that is a lap around Miami International Autodrome.
Great to hear Dylan Medler calling it his home track, but of course it's not a home track like normal, Tony, where you get tons of action on it. So even though it's his home track, no home advantage.
Yeah, apart from that is very close to get back to home.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, this is a new experience racing here. I think the overall opinion of drivers have been that it's a very cool track to drive and to race. We mentioned yesterday that first time doing the race starts, doing the race distance, drivers and teams have learned definitely from yesterday. We saw already faster lap times in qualifying compared to yesterday, so I'm assuming I also talked with this driver, Johnny Kaminsky, so we spotted yesterday that he was fighting with some understeer, medium to slow speed corners, compromising his cornering speeds, and there were some areas where Roberto Berina was able to catch him, and they have made some changes for today. He did a very intelligent drive yesterday as Medler and Massimo Perina ran into trouble and securing that P2 as Manny Franco won the race, and he's not participating the whole championship. So exciting things happened yesterday, and let's see what happens today.
Yeah, really keen to see if Kaminsky's got that car more dialed in. I see he's got Freaky Fast up on the rear wing now, which is cool to see. That looks like a new decal. I don't remember that one being there before. Out they go on their reconnaissance lap back to the grid then. In the background there you saw Sebastian Mascaro, the black and gold, so desperate to take a win. Did a great job yesterday. He was qualified second and came second. If I remember correctly, he had to come back from passing a couple of cars. Dave Musial Jr., there is Ray Acosta, Brad Fowler behind him. So Ophir Levy, yesterday's winner in the beige coloured car. So there's Dave Musial. So both Dave Musials in this, junior and senior. And you're on board with Matthew Deal. Just cruising around the back part of the circuit, get himself ready for the start. That's the tricky chicane up at the far end. Everybody warming those tyres up and getting themselves good to go. Right, Nina Jade had a wander around the hospitality here at Casa Ferrari, so you can see what everybody's been enjoying this weekend.
Round 3 of Ferrari Challenge North America brings us to the fabulous Miami. Here we are at the iconic Hard Rock Stadium racing on the Miami International Autodrome F1 circuit. Now, we couldn't bring you to Miami without giving you a little tour of behind the scenes, starting in Casa Ferrari, the biggest Ferrari hospitality on the calendar. There's so much to experience inside Casa Ferrari, and one of the standouts is the food. The finest Italian chefs have on offer beautifully Italian cured meats, a Parmesan station, Italian coffee, delicious wood-fired pizzas. It's all on offer. Now here in Casa Ferrari there is something for everyone. If shopping is your cup of tea, it's definitely mine, then the Ferrari Boutique is the place to be. Now, if pizza's not your thing and you want something a little bit more luxurious, Casa Ferrari has oysters, caviar and champagne. Once you've had your dose of exciting race action, fabulous food, stunning views and our wonderful DJ, then take a few steps to our beautiful wellness spa, where you can receive lovely massages, IV drips, hyperbaric oxygen chambers, and for the gentlemen, an Acqua di Parma shaving lounge. All a part of Ferrari's luxury services available in Casa Ferrari. And if you've got a sweet tooth like me, Casa Ferrari has you covered as well. Thank you. There's so many wonderful things to experience inside Casa Ferrari, but when you step out onto the terrace, this is what it's all about. The best views in the house. And that is exactly what it's all about. The view that I had up in Casa Ferrari, I am now down on the front straight, and that's what it's all about. The drivers are raring to go, as am I, throwing it back to our boys in the commentary box.
There we are, look at that. Wonderful shots of the grid from the drone. Last minute preparations for all the drivers.
Yeah, we mentioned yesterday for Perina, who's on pole, that he needs to be better in qualifying, and today he delivered. So he has been the fastest driver the whole weekend, including the practice. But the fact that he wasn't on pole yesterday, he had to fight for the lead with Dylan Medler. So now he's in a perfect place. Let's see how he gets the start and if he's able to control the race.
It was super quick up front, wasn't it? I think there were 0.4 of a second across the top 4 drivers, only a second across the top 7, if I remember correctly, this morning. There it is, Massimo Perina on the pole. Now he did, I'm thinking back to Sonoma. Let me check my results because I'm terrible at this kind of thing.
Yeah, pole position.
Yeah, he got pole, yeah, and finished 4th after the penalty. So it was pole and win. So he knows how to do this. And he did the same on day 2 without it being taken away. So he did it twice. He lost. He had pole at Daytona 2 and ended up P2. So yeah, he's done this twice. Pole to win. I say the one time was taken away with a little penalty.
Yeah, the level is so high, so you need to get everything right. If you lose a place at the start, it's difficult to come back. When all the drivers around you are lapping very, very good and consistent lap time, so every small detail comes to account.
Nina Jade, Paul is down on the grid. Let's get things underway.
Absolutely. Final race of the weekend, and it's time. Drivers, start your Ferrari engines.
Well, you might have seen earlier on that little valve over on the right-hand side there that sticks out beyond the exhaust. That's where the air jacks go in. You actually saw one of the teams dropping the car down. I always think it's really cool if you've never seen air jacks before. They're onboard jacks under the car. You fire air into the system that compresses it and lifts the car up on 4 little legs underneath. It's a really quick way to service a car if you're doing wheel and tyre, brake changes, etc. If you're doing endurance races, it's just nice to have the jacks on board. Don't know if you're taking loads of stuff out onto the grid. You can see the separation there between the two classes. At the front with the red Fie sun strips is the Trofeo Pirelli drivers, and bringing up the rear with the white Fie sun visors is Pirelli AM. copper shell was really well measured. I have been told, so I just saw somebody in the break between. I said, oh, they were really good, they're really sensible. And they said, oh, you should have been in the driver's briefing this morning. They got told. So apparently in the driver's briefing this morning, everybody was told, tidy it up. And that's one of the jobs of a race director. And I guess, Tony, you've probably had to do similar things when you've been coaching drivers or coaching sessions. Sometimes people need to be told, come on, let's get sensible.
Yeah, this is a good point. We have drivers with different skill level, different level of experience, but also different speed on track. And when you put between 25 to 30 cars on track into one race start, if you don't keep things simple and give simple orders, there might be a little bit mixed interpretation of those rules. And I think in general in Ferrari Challenge we cannot expect that all the drivers are full professionals.
Yeah.
So sometimes we need to be aware of that, and all these briefings done every day, every single time there's a different message. And I think after yesterday was just to realize where you at, the high-speed nature of the track. We can see the walls, both sides, they are really close all around the lap here in Miami Autodrome. So you need to take your responsibilities, no contacts, you cannot make mistakes, and if you do, it's very costly.
Right, let's get things underway. Race 2, Trofeo Pirelli. Trofeo Pirelli from Miami International Autodrome, the second race of the weekend. Up on the front row, Massimo Perina and Johnny Kaminsky, the pretenders to the title. They are after taking it off the man who's on row number 2. Dylan Medler on the outside, Roberto Perina, Massimo's uncle, behind him on the run to the first corner. Manny Franco, yesterday's winner with Brian Cook. Ethan Williams and Gray Falvera are row number 4. On row number 5 on the inside, Tony Davis. On the outside, Dave Musial Jr., 2.0 as he likes to be known. Row 6, Jason McCarthy and Ray Acosta. Ray Acosta is your pole sitter for Pirelli AM. Brad Falvera, Sebastian Mascaro. Mascaro's desperate to get that win. He was close again yesterday. Jay Logan and Ophir Levy, yesterday's winner. On to the next one, row 9, Matthew Diel and Benoit Bergeron. Bergeron was on the podium yesterday. Then it's Dave Musial. Just Dave Musial, not senior, he's just there. Frank Sesniak, Dan Magnaszewski, Gerdas Venceslavas. And they're bringing up the rear, row number 12, Robert McWilliams and Rafael Duran.
Yeah, Duran is carrying a penalty from yesterday.
Okay, that
10
makes
grid
sense.
spot penalty. I
10?
think it was for the start, I think.
Okay, 10 grid spots.
Yes.
Wow, okay, that is a big penalty, isn't it? So that would have seen him right up by Mascaro. So we'll have to keep an eye out for the number 38 of Duran in case he can make some moves through, but I suspect there will be a lot going on up at the front. The safety car's lights are out and it's about to peel off into pit road, and that's going to release the Pirelli drivers down towards turn 1. Trofeo Pirelli and Trofeo Pirelli AM, podium spots and wins up for grab, but most importantly of all, championship points. See from the drone shot the cars lining themselves up. Perina on the inside, remember behind him his uncle. Kaminsky next to him. Can anyone get the jump down at turn 1? Dylan Medler on the outside of row 2. Tricky place to be, but he's experienced enough to know what to do. Green flag. We're away down towards turn 1. Early start from Perina. Kaminsky. Oh, is he going to start into 2? No, Roberto Perina up the inside. So close, spin in the background. That might be Davis that's gone round, I think. Is it in the background? But it's out front. Massimo Perina was leading. 3 cars off in the background. Hopefully they'll get away and we won't end up at full course yellow. Medler through. Medler's managed to get through to P2. In amongst all of that, Roberto Perina was looking up the inside. We could see of Kaminsky on the run to the second corner. Kaminsky is down into P3, but Medler has got 2 positions and gets himself right where he needs to be, up behind his rival Massimo Perina.
Yeah, Kaminsky lost a little bit at the start. Pole sitter had a great acceleration and Kaminsky lost a little bit of time. They came 3 side by side into turn 1. Impressive start from Dylan Medler from P4 up to P2.
Braking deep now, Kaminsky looks inside, keen to get that position back. Yesterday, of course, he lost a position at the start and couldn't get it back during the course of the race. Manny Franco managed to beat him to the flag. Medler yesterday checked out with Massimo Perina. Yesterday it was really obvious that both Medler and Perina were taking big risks. You can see rotation in the middle of the corner. You can see the cars four-wheel drifting side by side on the back straight. Look at the gap that Massimo Perina has got already, and Roberto Perina just dropping off the back. Kaminski's late on the brakes and tags Medler. Oh, Medler goes round. That's 2 days in a row. He's going to be absolutely furious. Medler has been tapped at the end of the straight. That is a shocker.
Yeah, Johnny Kaminski had a great run from turn 15 all the way to turn 17. Came really close under braking, and unfortunately there was a contact. And yeah, as a result, Dylan Medler spun out of the race. I think he will be able to rejoin, but very, very unfortunate, bad weekend for Dylan Medler so far.
Yeah, that is not what you need, is it? He will be desperately disappointed. And yeah, the thing was, I was going to say, you know, that he qualified in fourth, you're in the pack, but he wasn't. He made it up into P2. Kaminski will be gutted too, because there won't have been any intention in this. And unfortunately, at this point, look how late and committed he is on the race. He has nowhere to go because the wall is on the left, not on the right. Doesn't excuse it. You know, he's braked too late and he's tapped Medler out. Ah, shocker. I'm hoping Dylan Medler can get away and get back into it. Is that Medler now? Yes, it is. I think. I'm not sure. Sesniak, sorry, no, it's not. We thought it was. Don't worry, that's our camera guys trying to pick up where Medler is amongst a packed field of 24 cars. According to our timing screen, he's crossed the line in P16, as you can see left-hand side of your screen as well. So Dylan Medler with a serious job to do. You're looking at Brad Falver, I think it was. No, Ray Acosta. Ray Acosta in the number 7, who is leading Pirelli Am, and is in 6th place overall. So a number of Pirelli drivers with that carnage up at turn 1. Sebastian Mascaro is in P3, Brad Falver in front of him. In yesterday's winner, Ophir Levy in behind Mascaro. Down at the end of the straight now, Kaminski late on the brakes again, this time nothing in front. And behind him, Roberto Perina. Ophir Levy thinking about a look at Sebastian Mascaro, but not this time, and it's close again in the background. Sesniak and McWilliams, it looked like McWilliams was having a sneaky look up the inside. I'm gutted for Dylan.
Yeah, and also for Johnny Kaminski, because for sure it was a thing that he didn't want to do. Didn't hit Dylan on purpose. And let's see also if there's a penalty for Johnny. If it's a drive-through penalty, then it's very costly for his race as well. So hopefully the race director gives us opinion about what happened soon enough that we can have the result during the race.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. It's better to get it done, isn't it? Also, then you can see whether or not they can fight back from a lower position. Kaminski doesn't want it. It's horrible, Tony. You've been there, I'm sure. Unfortunately, most of us have done it if we've competed in circuit racing. I've certainly had that moment. You get on the brake, the car's going away from you. You say a few inappropriate words in your head because you desperately don't want to pick up the car in front of you, and then either they disappear and turn in, or you collect the back, and there's nothing you can do at that point. You're a passenger.
Yeah, you're right. I think for Johnny the issue started from the moment he hit the brakes. It was just no distance to Dylan in front of him, and he had just nowhere to go. There was no space on the right hand side, and he just couldn't avoid the rear of the car in front of him was just closing too quickly, and he couldn't avoid it. We've seen clean racing from Johnny the whole season. So that's why I'm convinced he didn't do it on purpose.
I know he wouldn't. I'm absolutely certain he wouldn't. It's a shame. He'll be disappointed, I know. But at the minute, he has a job to do. He's in P2. He has to worry about what the stewards say about that kind of thing later on. And again, that's distracting. It's hard to focus. Fastest lap at the minute, Massimo Perina 1:37.3. Ray Acosta, the leader of Pirelli Am, with a 1:39.6. There's an extra point available, don't forget, for that, and also for the pole position. Right. What have we got going on here? That's Ophir Levy, who's got past Sebastian Mascaro. That must have been at the end of the straight. They switch positions. Mascaro is down 1 and a little way off the back of Levy, so maybe Levy put a block pass on him, which would cost him just another couple of tenths. Medler passes Vencelavas on this last lap, so Medler is up into P15, but he's got a long way to go to get himself up. I'll get the gaps up on our timing screen. We changed intervals, and then we can see how far it is. Medler, is that 12 seconds forward to McWilliams? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a big gap. Yeah, the good thing is Dylan is able to continue in the race, so he's P6 in Pirelli right now, overall P15.
That's a good point. So in terms of points, it's not an absolute disaster, is it?
Yeah, and let's see also if there is a penalty to be served for Kaminski. So let's see how the timing and scoring and the final results will play out. A lot of pressure for Ray Acosta. Favre is very close, putting pressure on him. And these two are lapping very fast lap times. Also, the race leader, Massimo Pirelli, is showing a pace that we saw last year with the 488 challenge car. So when he was in the lead of the race, he could really pull away with the consistent rhythm, and the lap times just kept showing purple, meaning that he kept doing a series of fastest times, race lap times last year, and we're seeing similar performance now.
Yeah, you went 1:36.999 on the previous lap, 4/10 slower this time, as we see somebody going deep on the brakes at the end of the straight, not by too much. 1:37.3, Kaminski, and there he is. Right, that is Dylan Medler. So Medler coming out of the final corner. Whereabouts is he compared to these drivers in front? He's not 12 seconds back, so the timing screen will be updated as it comes through. Yes, good job. Medler up another position. He's passed McWilliams, so he's up into 14th. The trouble is he's got 8 more Pirelli AM cars to pass before he can get his teeth into any of the Pirelli drivers. And that's what he needs, isn't it, to up himself in the points?
Yeah, normally if you think about race strategy, the thing that Dylan Medler would need now is to overtake those Pirelli AM drivers and then be lucky enough to get a safety car that they could pack up the whole group, and then he would have a chance on the Pirelli leaders.
And I've realised what the interval is. That's my bad. That's the interval to the previous Pirelli car. We don't normally see that because he doesn't normally drop that far back. So Medler is 15.5 off the back of McWilliams. He's right in the pack with these guys. He was 12.2 off before. So Tony, although he's passed 3 cars, it's cost him 3 seconds.
Yeah, you lose a lot of time because you cannot go through the corners on your own pace, and then you need to prepare the overtaking each time you close to other driver. So he's in a full send mode for sure, but like you said, he's losing pace compared to the Pirelli drivers that are on their own.
He's passed Sesniak on this lap already. Sesniak, you're looking at with the number 1 on the car. Medler is just ahead of him, having passed him. He's got McWilliams on his tail. This is now, here we go. So in the background, look in the background, and you can see lights are flashing on Medler's car, trying to find a way through. He's desperate to get a lunge in here at the end of the straight. It's Benoit Bergeron who's in front of him. He's closing them down, isn't he? Big time, he really is. Round through this last corner, surely turn 1, he's going to have a look. This might be a bit of a masterclass in passing from Medler. Underneath Bergeron, come on, I'll get it done up at turn 1, pulls out from the slipstream. Bergeron knows he's there, there's no contest there from him. Great awareness for Bergeron to know it's a quicker driver coming back through the field. Brilliant job by Medler. He's still 15 off the back of McWilliams though, and that's the problem, isn't it? Just got to keep going and get some of that frustration out with some brilliant driving.
Yeah, he's in a mode that he doesn't mind the gaps, he doesn't mind what's happening at the front. He's just driving the fastest he can right now, trying to overtake each car and lose the minimum time behind each driver, and just it will be full send for the next 21 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to go as fast as he possibly can. Let's take a look back at the start of the race, and we can maybe see what happened. We were looking around at various different places during the pack, and obviously there was a lot going on out front. So Massimo Pirelli goes really early.
Yeah, from the other view, from the other angle, you could see that Kaminski didn't have a good acceleration. So Pirelli is already checked out, and then around places between 6 to 9, there's the first contacts. I think it was Tony Davis who spun into turn 1. But yeah, it was a tight battle between top 2, 3 and 4, and yeah, Pirelli had already checked out or going into turn 1.
I think it's Manny Franco that went round with the contract with Davis, because Franco was not showing on the timing screens we've just seen. So Franco went out in turn 1 after Tony Davis dropped it. Davis also retired at that point in the blue and yellow car. It's a shame for Manny, yesterday's winner, but he's not in that championship fight. Brian Cook also out, so some of the Pirelli drivers dropping out will have helped Dylan Medler, certainly in terms of not losing too many points. There is Manny Franco. He'll be disappointed. It's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, it's a tight turn 1. We've seen a lot of action there with Formula 1, but also with our challenge cars this weekend. And sometimes it's not really your fault. It's just very tight first hairpin where you arrive with a high speed from the start. And yeah, sometimes things that you cannot really control.
There's a slow corner somewhere, isn't there? That's the thing. I think when the slow corner is turn 1, it's always tricky. You look somewhere like Sonoma where you've got the sweeping lefts up the hill into the first tight corner. Everyone's kind of a little bit more in a line. When you've got 3 cars wide into turn 1, everyone's desperate to do the hero move.
Yeah, and the fight for Pirelli AM is heating up. Favre just had the fastest lap of the Pirelli AM. You can see that Ray Acosta made a small mistake losing probably a little bit of grip, running the curbs very hard, and this is a fight for the lead.
Yeah, Acosta made a mistake in that chicane. It was back at 10, 11, 12. They're now on the run down in the slipstream behind him. Brad Falvera, who yesterday was having such a fantastic run and it all went wrong. Oh, he goes defensive. Falvera looks inside. Acosta says, you're not coming through there. He'll run deep though and should be a better exit, but if he keeps it planted on the inside line, there won't be a way through. Good awareness, good awareness. Acosta keeps the door shut and Falvera can't get an advantage on the exit. Kaminsky's showing us pitted on our timing screen. Kaminsky is showing, is that the drive-through, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
So Kaminsky, we think, might be in the pits. He might be in the pits. This might be. We don't have information from race control, so we can't tell you if it's a drive-through or not. We'll know, of course, if he blasts back out. Then we might see Kaminsky and Medler back together again. So Kaminsky has had to pit. He's gone into the pit, possibly at the at race control's command. Wow, okay, so he drops out. So it's a Perina 1-2. Massimo Perina leads his uncle by 9.2 seconds. Gray Falvera 2.2 back. That is Roberto, isn't it? Yes, it's Roberto Perina, and it is it's Ewan McWilliams behind. So Gray Falvera, where's Gray Falvera gone?
Maybe there's been...
Yeah, has Roberto had a problem? Has Roberto dropped back? Is that Gray in front? There's so much going on in this, there really is. I think he must have had a problem. Surely.
Hopefully not something related with Kaminsky, maybe something related between these two drivers.
Gray has got through, so Gray Falvera has got through, and just in time, Perina sees McWilliams slot up the inside, so it was a Perina 1-2, but whatever happened on that last lap, Roberto has dropped back. Car doesn't seem to be too slow, a little bit like we saw with Mitchell Green, an issue, but both those drivers passed him, so Falvera now into P2, but that gives Massimo Perina an 11.9 second lead. Kaminsky still showing us in the pit, so is he stopped? We can't see him at the moment, but if he crosses... He's crossed the timing line. Kaminsky has crossed the timing line. He's in P10. He's just in front of Dylan Medler. According to our timing, Dylan Medler is 0.5 of a second behind Kaminsky, but coming out the pit. And it is here. It is here. So Medler is behind Kaminsky. It was Kaminsky that tapped him at the end of the straight. There won't be any malice, but he won't be happy either. And he'll want to get through because this is now a couple of points he can take back if he can get past Kaminsky.
And they are running into Pirelli AM traffic right now. So there's a fight, actual real fight for the position between these two drivers, and also the thing that there's a traffic in front of them, so this will get exciting right now.
Yeah, it will. Was it 15 minutes you said, wasn't it, Tony, last time round?
Yeah, more or less, half distance, and then things start to happen.
Yeah, then boom, off it all goes. Kaminsky with Medler behind. They are in P5 and 6 in their class, but in front of them are some Pirelli AM drivers. They're not slow Pirelli AM drivers, but you must remember that Kaminsky and Medler are the class of the field. Medler closes down. That was really wise from Medler. He dropped back on the way into the chicane. Kaminsky's been balked. Can Medler find a way through? They're both up behind Logan now as they come down to the chicane. Logan bumps the curb on the outside line. Medler with a good exit down at the end of the straight. Acosta still under pressure from Falvera, but the fight behind them is all kicking off as well as we come through turn 18 and 19. These are your leaders for Pirelli AM. How far back are Mascaro and Logan with Kaminsky? It's so close between these two. Falvera hasn't found a way through though, despite the pressure, and this has been going on for a few laps. Looking to see Kaminsky and Medler come over the timing line, and they're both past Logan, but Medler is still behind Kaminsky. We can see it, you can see it on your graphics left-hand side of your screen, so you can track their progress as they come up through the field. Here they are. Next up is Sebastian Mascaro.
Whoa, Johnny Kaminsky's car is all over the place. The rear stepped out in the acceleration, and these drivers are really driving hard right now.
Blue flag was waved there. That's the lapped card flag normally, but in this case it's to let Mascaro know that he's got two very quick drivers. Medler's nailed it onto the curves on the inside. Kaminsky seems to be struggling a little bit for grip. Medler's got great pace here. Comes out wide. He'll try and get a better exit through here for that back straight. He does. He's tucked underneath Kaminsky, but there's nowhere to go. Tries to go out to the wide side. Flashes the lights just a little bit. Kaminsky still there. Medler looking inside him. Kaminsky's not squeezing him towards the wall. We've already had contact once. He won't want it again. Kaminsky with lots of rotation in the car. It's a problem for him through there. Medler will get a much better exit, but there's nowhere to go. He can't drive through him. Kaminsky's struggling for grip.
Yeah, it's a great fight between these two.
Kaminsky absolutely on the limit here. He won't want to let Medler through. We totally understand that. He has now served his penalty, remember. He served his penalty. Medler in the slipstream. They're both in the slipstream of Mascaro. Mascaro with the black and gold left-hand side. Medler's going to come out wide. Kaminsky is late on the brake. Oh, no! Full course yellow. That's going to slow things. That's fine. Leave it there. Get rid of the full course yellow. Let's go. Oh, surely we're not going to full course yellow for that. That will be very disappointing if that's the case. Wow, okay, there we go. So now they have to wind it in. This, though, is going to close up all the gaps at the front, and now things are really interesting. If I'm only in favour of the full course yellow if it's for half a lap. What can we do? Who can we influence?
Yeah, Massimo Pirelli really checked out. He had 13.5 second lead.
Gutting for him.
And he was one of the drivers who definitely didn't want to see full course yellow or safety car on track. So what an amazing fight between Kaminsky and Medler. Johnny's still struggling a bit in between turns 10, 11 and 12. We can see that in the middle of the corner Dylan has a lot more speed, so just in this area. So here Johnny Kaminsky is struggling a bit, and then Dylan Medler has a good run for this next sequence of corners.
Well, they're going to get them all stacked up again, aren't they? There is the rescue crew. The car is, to me, Musial's almost reversed that into there to get it out of the way, which is why I'm so surprised that it's a full course yellow. But it is. At least the truck is there. They'll have a strap, and if he hasn't damaged the car, and I don't think he has, you can't reverse it into that spot. So if it's damaged, so with any luck, they put a strap on it and get it out of the track ASAP and get these guys back on the green flag conditions, because I am excited about Kaminsky and Medler trying to find their way through. I do get excited about things quite easily, Tony, but you know.
Yeah, I've noticed
Yeah.
few occasions, but that's not a bad thing.
I
love the energy. I love the energy you have.
Thank you, mate. Motorsport's fun, isn't it? +6 places for Gray Falvera, +4 for McWilliams, +7 for Acosta and Brad Falvera. Epic stuff. Offi Levy up 9, Mascaro up 6. Wow. Oh yeah, Offi Levy 9 places up, +10. Look, for Rafael Duran from the back of the pack has come up 10 places. Are they stacked up yet? Massimo Perina. Okay, full course yellow. No safety car, is there, or there is?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, how much does Perina at the front have to back off? Does he have to stack everyone up behind him? I mean, the 148s, they've clearly backed right off, but you know, these guys were still some 13 seconds back. In fact, the interval now is 17 and a half, so Massimo hasn't stacked them up behind him. Now we get there. Yeah, it is there. You know what? I was just looking and thinking, is he going to roll round?
Yeah, because some of the championship they put out full course yellow, but it always ends up with the safety car.
Yeah.
And then they back up together. So as far as I've seen with the Ferrari Challenge, that's always been the case. We've never done full course yellow and then go straight back to green. We always collected it with safety car.
So we have to wait, of course, for the cars to get round and collect it. I was getting even more excited. Fastest laps, extra points at the minute for Brad Falvera and Massimo Perina. I'm hoping that safety car can go slow enough around this lap that it switches off the lights at the end, which would give us 9 minutes, which is probably going to equate to another 4 or 5 laps of racing. And in the background, you can see Dylan Medler and Johnny Kaminsky. There they are, coming through the 2 kinks. They are currently sitting in P9 and P10 after contact earlier in the race. The trouble they've got now is in front of them Acosta, Falvera, Levy and Mascaro. They're quick drivers from Pirelli, and they're not as quick as Kaminsky and Medler, we know that, but we're late in the race, so we're late in terms of tyre condition. You're going to have to make decisive moves. That could come quickly with a green flag from behind the safety car.
Yeah, I mean, at the race, I think the lights.
Yeah.
From this angle, they look like the lights are off. So yesterday in Copa Shell, there was some misunderstanding for the acceleration zone. Lights are off. So from this lap, we go back to green. If I was Massimo Perina, maintains the same speed, but then have a normal, steady acceleration. Don't wait too long.
Just go.
Just go. Just open the gap, and you are in a single line.
He's gone. He goes immediately at the apex of turn 18. That's the first place he's able to do it. Fowler, McWilliams, Perina and Acosta follow him over the line. Look in the background, Mascaro runs wide. Behind him, Kaminsky looking for a way through. Mascaro dives out to the outside. Kaminsky's late on the brakes. Mascaro up the inside of Levy. Kaminsky can't find a way through. Medler around the outside of Kaminsky. Looking to make the pass, but has to tuck him behind him again. So good opportunistic pass from Sebastian Mascaro. Kaminsky trying for the long way round around the outside of Levy to get on the inside for the next turn. He is alongside Ophir Levy. Is he going to dare to go up the inside of Mascaro? He doesn't. Kaminsky through. Medler one car back. Medler now looking for a way past Ophir Levy as well. He's trying for the long way round. Levy shuts the door towards the curbs, but Medler is there. Kaminsky's got to try for Mascaro now. Oh, Medler up the inside of Levy, spin in front, in the wall.
Ray Acosta, was it?
Acosta, we think, is in the wall, or it's either him or Fowler. I think it's Acosta. I think you're right. That's going to be another full course yellow. Acosta, no, he's out the wall. That's brilliant. So that hopefully means no full course yellow. He goes away. There's damage to the back of his car, but we're looking for the battle out front. There it is, the rear of the car hanging off. Right, where are our star drivers who are fighting back up through the field there? No, in the background, Kaminsky and Medler, they're both through. Medler is alongside Mascaro now, goes through the inside on the kink. You're looking at the number 66 of Brad Fowler as he comes through. At bottom of your picture, here comes Kaminsky. And Medler's outside now. No, he's inside. He is inside Mascaro and finally gets through. They're slicing their way through this pack, aren't they? Those are some brave old moves. Oh, Ophir Levy up the inside. Watch out for Medler. Not again. Medler gets contact again. They just get away with it. Medler's been hit by a lot of people this weekend. He's not having a good one. Luckily, he gets away with that.
Yeah, after the safety car elbows out. It's full contact sport right now. Drivers are very aggressive right now on track.
They certainly are. Ophir Levy gets back past Sebastian Mascaro. Great to see these two Pro-Am drivers going at it. This is for P2 and P3, remember, for them. Brad Fowler, meanwhile, has the cushion of Kaminsky and Medler in between him. Massimo Perina is a second up the road from Gray Fowler. Ewan McWilliams only 0.5 behind, so there's only 1.5 across the top three with 6 minutes 30 remaining. What a race. It's always day two. Got to start doing this both days. Well, I'll be exhausted if they do it both days. Over the apron goes Ophir Levy. Could get a penalty for that. It's track limits by a long way. Look for a red line if the stewards aren't happy with it against his name on the timing screen. Oi, oi, oi. 6 minutes we've got to last for. Great stuff from Levy and Mascaro. What are the gaps? 3 seconds it was from Kaminsky to Fowler out front. You can just see Medler there in the back of your picture, who's the next car in front of these two. 0.2 of a second slower from Mascaro that time compared to Levy. That's because he passed him, of course. Now those two are free and are pushing a little bit harder. Impressive from both these drivers, they're passing.
Yeah, great fight. And after the safety car, everything just fired up. And great racing around the track. Massimo Perina is in the traffic, I think. Or was it Roberto?
Roberto, I think it's Roberto. There's
yeah.
Massimo. So where's Roberto? He hasn't had too much of a problem. He's in P4, but it was tight between them. So there are your top four on the front straight. Massimo's checked out just a little bit. Now in the background, the last of the Pro-Am drivers, Brad Fowler, is coming under pressure. Fowler yesterday was so unlucky. I think he was leading, wasn't he, when he retired, and he won't want to lose that result. If I were Fowler, I might be tempted to just go, you know what, knock yourselves out, go through. There isn't much point in him defending from them, is there? It doesn't make any difference to his points.
Yeah, I think Fowler was yesterday at the start. He was the driver that got hit from the back, so he wants to have justification for yesterday's misfortunes, and he's doing a great job. Unfortunate race for Ray Acosta again. 2/3 of the race he was doing really well, and then unfortunate spin here. That was,
yes, indeed. Okay, Kaminsky now with Medler right behind. Oh, Medler will be desperate to get him. He'd be desperate to get him. It's his only chance, really, unless they get to Roberto Perina, and I'm not convinced they've got enough time to bridge that gap. But if they can get past Fowler, then Kaminsky is fair game for Medler, and Medler's got good exit speed again from the chicane. You'd have to fancy he's going to have a crack at it at some point. Will he do it now while Fowler is blocking Kaminsky's lines? Fowler's quick. Lap time for Fowler, 1:39.2, 1:38.3, though it's a second quicker for Kaminsky. Kaminsky in the slipstream in the background, meanwhile side by side in front, Fowler and McWilliams. Up the inside, Favre is holding on. In the background, Kaminsky goes through. He's late, and he moves over. So Brad Favre moves over, very sensible, and he lets Kaminsky and Medler go through. Now we've got a fight on our hands with 3 minutes 50 to go. It's revenge time for Medler if he can.
Yeah, and if we would have a few more minutes, Johnny and Dylan would almost catch the drivers for P2, 3 and 4.
That is Benoit Bergeron who's spun. Come on, Benoit, get it out of the way, mate. We need to catch. Yes, good lad. Into reverse and away he goes. Benoit on the podium yesterday. Great to see these drivers managing to get these cars carrying on. We don't want to see any full course yellow now. I'm so impressed by these two. They must be both so stressed from the incident earlier, and they've kept this pace up the whole way through the race. Fighting back to try and get more championship points. They're back to P5 and P6 overall. Kaminsky, if you missed the start of the race, tapped Medler at the end of the straight. He was just a tiny bit too late, had nowhere to go. The wall was on the right side. He gets sideways on the exit here. Medler is there. Now watch for the chicane. This is the point where Medler has just looked a little bit stronger over the last few laps. You've got the braking zone through turn 10 into the chicane, and that's where the rotation gets into Kaminsky's car. Here it is. Medler out wide. Kaminsky comes in tight. Look at the curb. Medler is quicker through the apex and now will carry more speed on the exit. So Kaminsky's line is tighter in.
Yeah, he has a way tighter line, so the car almost over-rotating.
Medler up the inside. Medler makes the pass. Oh, is he going to run deep? He goes over the curbs. Kaminsky comes back. Kaminsky alongside him takes it back again. Medler, though, he's underneath the rear wing. Kaminsky will be punching a hole in the air. Medler should tuck back in really and go late. Kaminsky's going to go defensive on the brakes. Will Medler dare Kaminsky? The car squirms around like he did at the start of the race when he just misjudged it. Medler gives it back. There's a little nudge. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
Amazing fight between these two drivers. And like I said, they're catching on drivers ahead.
What are the lap times like? 1:39.1s for them. My goodness me. Massimo Prina 1:37.3. So he's absolutely flying up front and checking out again. But this is all about Kaminsky and Medler, who came together on lap 1 of this race. And as we come through towards lap 16, lap 17, they are together again, just a few places down. So much at stake. So Gray Favre dropping down the order. We're seeing Ewan McWilliams into P2, Perina, Kaminsky, Medler. These are your top 5. Medler slides through on the inside line. Kaminsky loses out. That's lovely. That's up at turn 5, 6, 7 and 8. Kaminsky looking to come around the outside, and Medler on the inside. Is he going to dare to go late on the brakes? Kaminsky passes him back again. The left-hander now, though, for Medler. They're still side by side. Medler this time is offline. Kaminsky will try and go around the outside through the chicane. He'll get the better exit, but there was a sideways moment in the middle. Kaminsky loses traction, and Medler drives away. Great pass by Medler. What a fight back from earlier on this race. Wow.
Yeah, both drivers gave space to the other drivers, so that area 10, 11, 12 where Dylan Medler is very strong. He has less tight line going in and he carries more speed mid-corner. Johnny is very good through 15 and getting a lot of speed coming into here, turn 17. Almost a repeat of the early laps of this race.
Absolutely incredible stuff from Medler with the penalty. Kaminsky with the penalty. We're on to the last lap out front. So Perina has triggered the last lap as the timer has run out. Massimo Perina has a gap of 7 seconds up at the front. It has been an utterly dominant display by him, both before and after the full course yellow. 37.1 is his current lap time. Let's look and see. I'm pretty sure he still holds the best. He does 1:36.999. Brad Favre, who's leading the Pirelli AM category. Gray Favre right with him. They're side by side. Wow. Last few corners. Massimo Perina. What was the gap before the full course yellow? 13?
Yeah, 13.5.
13 seconds was the gap. Perina yesterday slotted up the inside of Medler. There was contact between them. Medler didn't like it. The stewards seemed not to mind it. We felt he was 100% up the inside. Maybe Medler hadn't seen him coming. But Medler's been in the wars this weekend. The current champion has been under pressure from many ways. He's been, and contact that takes you out of a race is very frustrating. I think he's done a brilliant job, particularly today, to come back to P4. But no denying, Massimo Perina has been the class of this one. Absolutely incredible performance. He took the pole earlier on today. He comes through the final corner, turn 17, 18 and 19. Flat chat through here. A dominant performance before and after the full course yellow. Nobody has challenged Perina, and he takes the win here in Miami. Brilliant drive. Massimo Perina's second win of the year. And up towards the line, but Williams and Roberto Perina have crossed it. Incredible fight back from Dylan Medler to P4. Round of applause for that man. Kaminsky gets P5. Brad Favre wins Pro-Am, Pirelli-Am, and then we've got Gray Favre, Ophir Levy and Sebastian Mascaro. So your top three for Pirelli-Am are Brad Favre, Ophir Levy and Sebastian Mascaro. And we can now take a deep breath because that was quite the encounter. After an unfortunate coming together between, again, two of our top three drivers, it is on for the rest of the season, isn't it, Tony Villander?
Yeah, and what a recovery from Dylan Medler. Overall P16 at one point, and he came up to P4 with a great fight, intelligent drive. Difficult weekend for him, but great show for us and great demonstration of his speed and skills.
I think a great demonstration as well of determination. To be knocked to P16 here, you could so easily get ragged, get completely out of hand, but he just kept smashing in the laps, smashing in the passes, left, right and centre. It was a brilliant drive, and then the pass as well on Kaminsky was good, wasn't it? Up in 6, 7, 8, the carousel, as some of the drivers are calling it, rolled off the throttle, tucked the car underneath. Lovely job.
Yeah, great drive.
Oh, okay. So that's Medler, isn't it, up behind Perina now? They've had the checkered flag, but still the flashing lights, that's on Uncle. Back to pit lane, Massimo Perina, Ewan McWilliams and Roberto Perina are your podium.
Yeah, Roberto Perina had this race under control all the time. He had a great initial start for the race. He had a great restart after the safety car. This was a drive that we saw the whole last year, so competition is higher in 296 Challenge Pirelli class than he raced last year, but he's showing what he's made of, and when he does a perfect drive from qualifying to the race starts, it's a driver that is very difficult to stop.
Yeah, nobody could stop him today, either side of the full course yellow. Kaminsky is sent straight on. It may be where his garage is, it may be where, yeah, I imagine it is, looking at it. They may be taking cars off for post-race scrutineering, where they check that the legality of the parts, etc. Obviously it's a one-make series, so crucial that everybody is using the same thing. Pretty easy to check. Wow. Fastest laps for Massimo Perina and Brad Favre, the two class winners. What a race. What a comeback from Medler. Kaminsky with the penalty. But Massimo Perina pulls into the Parc Ferme area. Yes! Good job. Got it done. May have been told what had happened to Medler on the radio. I mean, I don't think it matters, does it, when you're out front and you're just checking out? It's kind of irrelevant. He may... Oh, look, he's pumped. May well find out about what happened behind him. Just drove away both times. It is an incredible performance today. Quicker on the pole lap earlier on today than we were going yesterday. Let's go. Okay, that's, you know, enthusiasm for you. Yeah. There we are. There's a lot of joy down there in the centre of the Hard Rock Stadium here. Parc Ferme in the middle of an NFL football field, which is where the podium is as well.
Yeah, great drive from Roberto Perina. If you talk about family fairs, or Roberto Perina taking points out of the main rivals of Massimo Perina. So,
yes, important, wasn't it?
Yeah, so high five and bones going on.
Yes,
going on there. So
I didn't feel either at the start that he played rear gunner particularly. You know, he got a good start. He you know, with him versus Kaminsky up in turn one.
Yeah, but I think at this level you need to do your own race.
Yeah, you can't be worried about family and teammates. All you have to do is avoid hitting them, of course.
Of course, but you cannot play any games. Drivers around you are very fast and everybody's going full send into turn one, and if you try to do something, it normally doesn't work. So Best thing always is to do your own job.
Do your own race. Do your own race. Mascaro there congratulating as well. But we have the utterly dominant Massimo Perina with Nina Jade Paul.
Utterly dominant is the right way to describe it. It was a real classy drive from you, Massimo. Before the full course yellow, you had a 13.5 second lead over second place. How was that race for you?
It was kind of as easy as it looked, unfortunately. Hate to say it like that, but it was just pace management and keep my nose clean the entire time.
I feel like today was a reset for you. Pole this morning, a win this afternoon. What's your mindset going into the next race?
Well, today was a full momentum reset for the championship. I think I've made the points lead a lot larger, so I think we're looking great going into Indy. We'll see.
Business as usual. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it means a lot, doesn't it? It means a lot.
Yeah, also
Very
after the
happy.
disappointment from yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
Where's Brad?
Yeah, made that pass, had that contact, dropped to P5, I think it was, yesterday. With a little bit of damage on the car. I wonder what Medler will think after today, because it was a brilliant fight back. But anyway. Confirmation of the results from Trofeo Pirelli Race 2. Massimo Perina, 7.2. You can add the 13 on prior to the full course yellow, and that would have been an incredible win. Ethan McWilliams, P2. Roberto Perina completes the podium. 2 Perinas up there. Dylan Medler fought back from P16 to P4. Johnny Kaminsky got a drive-through penalty for the tiny bit of contact with him earlier in the race. He wouldn't have wanted to do it, but either way, they'll both be disappointed not to be up on the podium with Massimo. Brad Falver, the winner of Pro-Am, is in P6. Gray Falver. Ophir Levy is P2 in Pirelli Am, and then Sebastian Mascaro P3 in Pirelli Am, 9th overall. Logan, Musial, McWilliams, Duran, Venceslavas and Magnazuski are your top 15. Cesniak, DL, Bergeron, Acosta, and then Dave Musial Jr., Brian Cook, Manny Franco. There was a little bit of carnage up at turn 1. Tony Davis and Jason McCarthy. Jason McCarthy wasn't a starter. Brad Falvera with Nina Jade.
Brad Falver, congratulations. Another win. How does that feel?
Well, it sure feels great. It sure feels great after that bad incident in turn 1 yesterday. So put the car back together last night. The team did a great job. R3 killed it, and so I had a clear run and few passes, and it was really, really fun.
Even after the misfortune yesterday, you're still having a really.
Well, pretty cool standing here in the stadium. Like, you really can't beat this. This is unbelievable, right? Hard Rock Stadium, pretty cool. Now, look, it's a really flowing track, very technical. I think it's good for me, so I really like this track. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Celebrate hard.
All right, Chip, thank you. Bye.
There we go. Thank you. Bye. Love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Very happy with the result, and rightly so. And yet, well remembered, Tony, you were right. It was a turn 1 incident for him. There's a lot of Ferraris and a lot of incidents yesterday, and I have to write things down to remember anything. Let's take a look at the standings. Dylan Medler and Massimo Perina showing us equal on points. That might be the case, having seen the way the weekend has gone. Johnny Kaminsky in P3, Roberto Perina. Look, whatever way you want to look at this, it is close between those top 3. Tony Davis, Dave Musial Jr., Gray Falver, Jason McCarthy. Roberto Perina right there as well, should there be problems. But I really think the three-way championship fight now, particularly after this weekend, is fire.
Yeah, this is a great show for us, a great demonstration of the car we have in this championship. A lot of close racing, close battles, and also the skill level of our drivers, young drivers, showing the pace, performing under pressure. And was not an easy track this weekend. A lot of concentration involved, a lot of risk-taking, commitment. So great weekend for Ferrari Challenge North America.
Absolutely. Podium is ready to go. Right in the heart of that stadium, as we say. Pirelli Am standings for you. Brad Falver at the top from Sebastian Mascaro. Mascaro up 1 point, Lace and just 4 points behind. Dave Musial just 5 points behind them. So again, 3 drivers fighting there. Ophir Levy certainly in the mix, moving up 2 places after a great weekend. J. Logan, Ray Acosta, Venceslavas and Michael Porter are your top 8. What can you tell us about Indianapolis, Tony, before you head off? I know you're heading off soon back to the homeland.
Yeah, the Indianapolis track map doesn't show a super special track, but actually the track itself has some tricks on it, how to be fast, how to create grip, how to avoid understeer. There's a section of the track where there is a lot of change of direction. You need to be committed again on the curbs, have a good exit when you're hitting the oval, when you're hitting the long straight. So It was a track that I enjoyed, but it's also again quite technical, so it will for sure suit our Ferrari cars and it will provide exciting racing.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to the Brickyard. Famously known as that, if you didn't know, because that was what it used to be surfaced with. And there are, I think, 2 or 3 or 4 lines of bricks still across the start-finish line there. Who's going to cross the bricks first? End of June, I think it is. Pretty sure. Can't remember. I'll check the date. I'm far too excited about how today has gone. Brilliant to see the drivers after, potentially a little bit of a telling off. Get things back. It is the end of June, 28th and 29th of June at Indianapolis. If you are interested and you want to be watching or want to come and join us even, it could be quite the show. It really could be quite the show. There were 3 wide at Daytona. I can't see any reason why there can't be 3 wide at Indianapolis as well. Right, stay with us if you'd like to see the podiums. They will be with you shortly. If you're disappearing off, my thanks to Tony Verlander and to Nina Jade Poole as well. But podium ceremonies are coming up shortly, so stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final podium presentation for the 3rd round of Ferrari Challenge North America at Miami International Autodrome. We're delighted to have you all here with us today. We're ready to get started and bring out our first winners of the day. We will now begin with the presentation for the winners of the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli class. Please welcome in P3, Roberto Perina. In second place, we have Ethan McWilliams. And the winner today with a dominant display, Massimo Perina. 13-second lead when the safety car came out and another 7 when he got to the end of the race. Amazing. Hats off, please, ladies and gentlemen, for the winner's national anthem. Please welcome to the stage Matteo Torre, President Ferrari North America, to present the trophies to our winners. We also invite Lucio Vagani, Pirelli Motorsport Manager from our partners at Pirelli, to present the Pirelli Award to our winner, Massimo Perina. Please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Seattle to accept the Trofeo Pirelli Team Award, once again presented by Matteo Torre, President Ferrari North America. 2 cars on the podium for Ferrari of Seattle. What a performance. Congratulations, everybody. Please show those trophies for the cameras. And you know what to do, drivers. Time for the champagne! So we'd like to invite Massimo Perina back onto the top step of the podium, please, and to present his award from our partners at Richard Mille for the fastest lap of the day. Matteo Torre, President Ferrari North America, 1:35.518, fastest lap of the day. Massimo Perina. Congratulations to Massimo and all our podium finishers. Next up, let's invite the winners of the 296 Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli AM class. In third place, Sebastian Mascaro. In second place, Ophir Levy. Great fight between those two drivers. And your winner today, Brad Falvra. Great drive by Brad after disappointment yesterday. Redemption today. Top step of the podium for him. Hats off, please, ladies and gentlemen, for the winners' national anthem. To present the trophies to our winners, please welcome Luca Zanetti, Ferrari Head of Global Sales. We also invite Lucio Vagani, Pirelli Motorsport Manager from our partners at Pirelli, to present the Pirelli Award to our winner, Brad Falvra. Please welcome a representative from Ferrari of San Francisco to accept the Trofeo Pirelli AM Team Award, once again presented by Luca Zanetti, Ferrari Head of Global Sales. Congratulations, everybody. Get those trophies held up high, please. And then trophies down, champagne up. Champagne! Next up, we'll invite the winners of the 296 Ferrari Challenge Copper Shell. Please welcome onto the stage in third place with a brilliant drive, Gary Ott. In second place, we have Mitchell Green. And your winner today, Jan Bernier. Gary Ott in third place, also the winner of our Gentleman's Cup. Congratulations, Gary. Please remove your caps for our winner's national anthem. We'd like to introduce Louis Colmash, Ferrari North America, to present the trophies to our winners. Please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Seattle to accept the Copper Shell Team Award. Once again presented by Louis Colmash, Ferrari North America. Congratulations everybody today. Get those trophies held high for the pictures, please. And you know what to do. It's time for the champagne! And finally, the presentation for the 296 Ferrari Challenge Copper Shell AM winners. In third place, Melissa Kozira. Great drive by Melissa today. Fantastic fight between these top three. In second place, we have Louis Flory. And in P1 today, hanging on despite the pressure, Gabe Harib. A round of applause, please, as well for Melissa Kozira, who wins the Ladies' Cup. And please welcome to the stage Gentleman's Cup winner, Lance Corley. Please remove your caps for our winner's national anthem. To present the trophies to our winners, please give a warm welcome to Dory Grogan from Miami International Autodrome. lastly, please welcome a representative from Ferrari of Atlanta to accept the Copper Shell Am Team Award, once again presented by Dory Grogan, Miami International Autodrome. Webb Collins, congratulations. Congratulations, everybody. Get those trophies held high. Last trophy shot of the day from a brilliant weekend in Miami. And, of course, the last time for the champagne! Thank you so much for joining us at the Miami International Autodrome. We will be back in a few weeks' time, 28th and 29th of June, from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Brickyard. We'll see you there.